Good evening. I'm Adam Bartlemay. 9 and 10 News at 11 starts now.
Tonight through tomorrow morning looking A-OK, but obviously there's showers off in the distance and they arrive here later tomorrow. We'll have those details coming up.
It's a victory for women.
The abortion issue front and center today.
It's so important to defend life.
The ban that just went into effect in Florida, the restrictive Civil War era law that was repealed in Arizona, and political reaction from both sides of the issue. Also, an environmental group claims so-called dark money is bankrolling a ballot committee that wants to repeal a key part of Michigan's new clean energy law.
There's really no way of telling where this money came from.
The search for more transparency on who's financing the committee. Plus, the opening of a new ORV trail near Cadillac, the hope that it will bring in more visitors and more economic prosperity to the area. And at one time, it was the epicenter of shopping in Michigan. Now it's scheduled for partial demolition. The plans for the property that was home to one of the state's largest shopping malls. It's been less than 1 month since Arizona's Supreme Court cleared the way for a Civil War era abortion law to go into effect. Now, state lawmakers have voted to repeal it. At the same time, in Florida, a 6-week abortion ban has gone into effect. And here in Michigan, former president and presumptive Republican nominee Donald Trump made a stop near Saginaw for a campaign rally. In our top story at 11, Skylar Henry breaks down the latest developments in the abortion debate.
Constitution of Arizona.
The Arizona legislature's vote to repeal a law dating back to 1864 that bans nearly all abortions sparked reaction from all sides of the issue.
It's a victory for women. A medical procedure does not have any business being enveloped in the religiosity of this legislature.
It's so important to defend life just because it's really an investment to our future. Life is beautiful, it's sacred.
Two Republicans joined with Democrats in the Arizona Senate in favor of repealing the Civil War era law. Democratic Governor Katie Hobbs is expected to sign the measure. That would make a 2022 statute forbidding abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy Arizona's prevailing law. Presumptive Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump weighed in from a campaign rally in Michigan.
And the states come out and they decide, which is what everybody wanted for over 50 years, and we got it done.
Extremists have proposed and passed laws that criminalize doctors, punish women.
Vice President Kamala Harris campaigned on abortion rights in Florida as the state's ban on abortions after 6 weeks took effect Wednesday.
6 weeks is very, very early in pregnancy. It's 2 weeks past a missed period.
Florida's law includes exceptions for rape, incest, fetal abnormalities, and the life of the mother. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
And right now, it's expected that there will be a temporary period in Arizona where nearly all abortions are outlawed. That's because the repeal won't take effect until 90 days after the end of the legislative session. Planned Parenthood Arizona filed a motion requesting that the state's Supreme Court work to prevent that gap. And with former President Donald Trump visiting Michigan today, Governor Gretchen Whitmer spoke in Flint, highlighting Democrats' concerns about women's reproductive rights if Trump wins the presidential election in November.
He and all three of his appointees to the United States Supreme Court lied to Congress and lied to the American people. Then they went and reversed Roe v. Wade, and that is exactly why we've got chaos across the country with different rights for different people in different states under different situations, and that's why women are dying.
The former president's official stance on abortion is to let states decide. However, Project 2025, also known as the Presidential Transition Project, outlines a plan to pull the plug on the FDA's approval on medical abortion drugs in the case of a Republican presidential victory in 2025. Project 2025 does not promote a specific candidate and is not officially endorsed by Trump.
$50,000 donations are not grassroots. $10,000 donations are not grassroots.
A ballot committee focused on northern Michigan received $100,000 from so-called dark money political nonprofits, the same type of organizations that allegedly mishandled funds, leading to a dozen felony charges against former Michigan House Speaker Lee Chatfield. The campaign, led by the Citizens for Local Choice Committee, wants to undo a key portion of Michigan's recently passed climate change legislation that allows a state agency to override local authorities when it comes to approving large-scale solar and wind projects. 9 and 10 News political reporter Sheldon Krause has more details on the push for more answers.
It's a transparency issue. There's really no way of telling where this money came from.
A ballot committee with the support of northern Michigan residents is receiving criticism from clean energy advocates who say they're raising money with little transparency. Citizens for Local Choice, or CLC, received $50,000 each from the Michigan Association of Counties and the Michigan Township Association, two state advocacy groups that operate 501c4 nonprofits. This type of nonprofit isn't required to publicly report its donors and has come under scrutiny from state politicians who say the organizations leave political activity in the state open for corruption. Jonathan Kim, a researcher with the Pro-Environmental Energy and Policy Institute, says that he feels the donations undermine CLC's portrayal as a grassroots movement.
It's not to say they don't have grassroots support. It's to say that at least financially, that's not showing. And it's not on par with some of the large ballot initiatives that we've seen in the past that have had grassroots support.
Kim noted that the committee received only 63 donations under $200 in its most recent campaign finance period, with over 70% of funds coming from the two nonprofits, which he said could leave voters in the dark about what interests are funding the campaign.
With the 501c4s, we don't know. Perhaps there was money funneled through one of those with possible ties. There's no way to tell. That's part of where the transparency and opacity becomes an issue.
Roger Johnson, treasurer for CLC, declined to comment on the contributions. Spokespeople for the Michigan Association of Counties and Michigan Township Association said that their organizations support CLC's efforts to repeal the clean energy siting law and that each board of directors approved the contributions, but they did not detail where the funds came from. The MTA's executive director Neil Sheridan said in a statement that the organization brings in revenue from membership dues, event registrations, sponsorship, advertising, and publication sales. CLC was recently the subject of a complaint accusing a separate nonprofit of illegally transferring over $50,000 to the committee to effectively conceal the identities of donors. In Lansing, Sheldon Krause, 9 and 10 News.
Now let's check out the weather tonight over the Sioux. Those clouds we were seeing earlier are still here, while the lower peninsula will see some of the close clouds move back in. But that doesn't mean rain is set to move in just yet. There are some showers, though, in the forecast for tomorrow. Let's bring in Doppler 9 and 10 Chief Meteorologist Tom O'Hare, who has more details on that in First Weather. And Tom, when could we start seeing those raindrops?
Well, maybe just late tomorrow afternoon after 4 or 5 p.m. That's about it, though. But it looks like it wants to rain. I mean, closely you can tell the clouds are right here in the atmosphere. They're not going anywhere fast. You had some clearing across the straits earlier, but they're just kind of holding on tight at this point. Again, just a thin layer out there earlier, and this wave is trying to move in, but that's going to break down to some degree later tonight, tomorrow morning. But those don't have rain showers. Where's the rain? It's quite a ways away. Look at Iowa, Minnesota, Dakotas, down to Nebraska. In fact, another round of big storms going on right now down towards Kansas and even down into Texas, where another round of tornadoes are down there and severe storms. So lots of activity recently in the Midwestern states, but not here at home. Earlier, we had wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour. They have really settled down at this point. What, 19 now, Pina, that's all you're getting for a peak wind gust. It's not that bad. So dry skies tomorrow morning, some sunny breaks depending on location, because up north there'll be more clouds, down south a bit more sunshine. And your temperatures, 30s, 40s, and 50s by 8 a.m. in spots. Now there's Gulfcast. Dry skies, and then by 4 p.m., some rain showers building into the western lower and UP counties. But we'll find more wet weather for tomorrow night going into Friday morning. But as for the weekend, doesn't look too bad right now. I'll be talking more about it in a few minutes.
Hey, thanks a lot, Tom. In this update, we can now show you the man accused of shooting and killing a woman in Midland County. Timothy Rivard is facing charges of open murder and felony firearm. He pleaded not guilty today, and the sheriff's office tells us he didn't say a word in the courtroom. Deputies arrested Rivard yesterday after they say they found a dead woman's body at a home in Mount Haley Township. Rivard's bond has been denied. Off-road vehicle lovers now have a 100-plus mile scenic route to enjoy in northern Michigan. The Cadillac Area Visitors Bureau unveiled the new ORV scenic ride during a ribbon-cutting ceremony this afternoon at the Cabernet Trailhead. The Visitors Bureau says ORV riders already have 2 designated loop trails in Wexford County in addition to county roads and U.S. Forest Service roads. But none of those trails have been mapped together as a contiguous ride. They see the new route as an opportunity to position the region as an ORV destination as well as bring more tourism dollars to the area.
It's just fun for everybody all the way around. It's great for those businesses that might be a little off the beaten path looking for additional visitors. It gives us another opportunity to promote another recreation opportunity. We want to promote the recreation and the tourism part of things.
The Cadillac Area Visitors Bureau says ORVing is getting more popular in Michigan. There are close to 300,000 licensed ORVs in the state as of September 2022. That's up 20% from 2019. Coming up on 9 and 10 News at 11, you only have a couple of months left to check out one of Michigan's oldest shopping malls before it's gone for good. And later, details on the Great Lakes Shipwreck Historical Society's newest find.
And tonight we are finding winds not being a problem. 5 miles per hour in Grayling, 5 in Cadillac, looking a-okay tonight, but how about tomorrow when that wet weather finally arrives? All the details when we get back. Talk about a beautiful sunset here in Gaylord from the Area Tourism Bureau and Chamber of Commerce. Yeah, clouds did return, but you have bits of color there passing through, and look at the red right there popping out. Nice night going out, but the clouds will try and help trap in today's heat, but still some breaks developing at this point. Now with today's winds, there wasn't a big change going on in fire danger. Still have low in the UP and medium across the Lower Peninsula. Some spots have changed here for burn permits, but overall it's pretty consistent across northern Michigan. And the temperatures, middle 40s and 50s, nothing major going on. It is a quiet one out there. Here in Everett right now, 53, Manistee, 52, no big changes there. But the trend here is a positive one because we know warmth is going to be building in and temperatures going through the week, middle 60s, lower 70s. So yeah, spring, it has sprung northern Michigan. So here we are on the warm side of the bigger system back here. And that's later on tomorrow at 5 p.m. Now the system tries to move out a little forward, but also moving north at the same time. So we have a little instability in the atmosphere. You'll find a few more showers around later on Friday and into Friday morning. But then we have a little bit of cool here. Now this might deliver a couple of showers Saturday night, Sunday morning, but again, short term because that moves away pretty fast. So Sunday, Monday, even Tuesday are looking pretty good at this point and on that warmer side of things. So what are the skies going to actually do? Here's tomorrow morning, dry. Some sunshine, some clouds, but nothing going on. Clouds building in, that's noon, but there goes the rain, it's getting closer. Now this is slowed down compared to our earlier runs. It's 5 p.m., a couple of sprinkles by Newberry, a couple of showers in the western and lower counties. Down here, maybe a small rumble because of how warm things get tomorrow afternoon. So we'll have to watch that, but nothing severe at this point. Overnight, you see a bunch of green passing through. That's 11 p.m. So rain showers and maybe a small rumble overnight and just scattered across the entire region. But by Friday morning, the bulk of the rain is gone. Here's Friday afternoon, and you're already beginning to see those skies get clear from west east. That's the trend for the coming weekend. There goes our system. High pressure builds in, sure into Saturday morning. There'll be clouds around a little while, but you'll have sunshine too. Looks to be a pretty good weekend. And as for that wet weather, there's that possibility right there. That's for Saturday night. Overall, it looks to be a pretty good weekend all across northern Michigan. How about that forecast overnight? Like I said, fairly dry skies going on. And low temperatures, the cold spots 30s, otherwise 40s for everyone else. Tomorrow afternoon, a few scattered showers, mainly in the western spots. High temperatures, inland areas in the 60s, Lakeside in the upper 50s. Looks like a pretty good day. 68 Mile, West Branch 65 degrees, and central lower counties, middle and upper 60s. Just an isolated shower possible in the western locations. 7-day forecast. Showers here and there, most of them tomorrow afternoon through Friday morning. Things do dry out for a while then, and then on Saturday, it's Saturday night into early Sunday morning. Most of the weekend is dry. Look at those temperatures, 50s, lot 60s, and some 70s. And next week, mostly dry skies with isolated showers on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Thanks a lot, Tom. Still ahead on 9 and 10 News at 11, a quick look at the history of one of Michigan's largest enclosed shopping malls as it begins to wind down operations permanently. One of Michigan's largest shopping malls will be closing its doors for the last time on July 1st. Designed by nationally recognized shopping mall designer and Michigan native A. Alfred Taubman, Lakeside Mall first opened in Sterling Heights in on March 2nd, 1976. For years, it was known for its unique interior design, and in the 1980s, it became the first mall in Michigan to feature an indoor water slide called the Hydro Tube. Lakeside Mall contains space for 180 stores within its 1.4 million square foot floor plan. As of February of this year, Lakeside is home to just 51 tenants. The remaining 129 spaces sit empty. And as of today, those remaining businesses have been given notice to move out. That's because Lakeside is being partially demolished to make space for Lakeside Town Center. The new mixed-use city center plan was designed by the mall's holding company, Miami-based real estate firm Lionheart Capital. It will feature apartments, a large central park, a hotel, office space, and more. And a 1.5 mile green loop will be developed around the site for joggers and bicyclists. Demolition will start at the site on July 1st, and groundbreaking on the new project is slated for next year. And though visits to the malls have been down in recent decades, recent market analysis from Coresight Research's 2022 report suggests that people are actually heading to the mall around 12% more than they were pre-pandemic. Still, malls across Michigan have faced recent closures. Pontiac's Northland Center Mall was demolished in 2021 after the final anchor closed in 2015. It was originally built in the 1950s and was the first branch store constructed by Detroit's then department store giant Hudson's. Northland's sister location, Eastland Center, located in Harper Woods, closed in 2021. By the time it shut down, it had gained a reputation for gang violence after repeated incidents took over local headlines in the 2010s. A 2015 shooting even put the mall into lockdown. Demolition of the Eastland Center began in 2022. And taking our focus closer to home, in 2022, the Alpena Mall, which was the only enclosed shopping mall in northeastern Michigan, permanently shut its doors. But some anchor stores like Dunham's and Gordon Food Service still operate despite the mall's closing. Up next on 9 and 10 News at 11, see what's left of a Great Lakes steamboat more than 100 years after it sank to the bottom of Lake Superior. A ship lost to Lake Superior 115 years ago has now been recovered by the Great Lakes Shipwreck Historical Society. The Adela Shores was a 195-foot wooden steamship that sank on this day in 1909. In 2021, the Great Lakes Historical Society found a target 40 miles northwest of Whitefish Point, which went on to be positively identified as the missing vessel. Before the recent discovery, it was not known for sure where or when the Adela Shores went under. All that was known was that it set sail from Duluth, Minnesota on April 29, 1909, following a larger steel steamship. During a vicious northeast gale, the steel steamship lost sight of the Adela, and for more than 100 years, it was not known what became of it or its crew of 14. What a great resource we have there at Whitefish
Exactly,
Point.
to find that right there, didn't know for certain. It could be in the area,
Right.
didn't know, and all of a sudden, there it is.
So many stories to tell up there at the museum. Let's head over to Jaden now to see what's coming up in sports.
Thanks, Adam. You can learn a little bit about one of the top runners in Division II. We've also got some highlights from a local baseball game and lacrosse game, and of course, highlights from the Tigers in Sports Extra.
And we do have some showers, but not till tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night into Friday morning. In the end, it's going to feel pretty good out there. 50s, 60s, and some 70s, not just for a couple days, but going right through next week.
Like the 70s.
Yes.
Spring is here. All right, thanks a lot, Tom. Thank you for joining us on 9 and 10 News at 11. Have a great night, everybody.